I'm not perfect. And he says, go read this. I don't want to read anything. Are you kidding me? But I do as I'm told.
I read sometimes. Although I did a lot more reading in my early recovery than I do now. Which
Yeah, me too.
Just ratted myself out, but we should rat ourselves out in recovery. Don't you think?
Yep. Yep.
I'm not saying we need to tell everybody our life story, but at least be honest with yourself.
Yep.
We're recording, man.
All right, man.
Say hello to the people.
Howdy, folks. I'm an addict named Ken.
And I'm an addict named Andrew.
Today, they're going to be talking about the suggestions in NA. Let's have a moment of silence for the addict who still suffers in and outside of these rooms and for the ones caught in the crossfire. Take my will and my life. Guide me in my recovery.
Guide me in my recovery.
Show me how to live.
Show me how to live.
Clean. But
Clean.
Remember this, it works if you work it. So work it, you're worth it. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right, folks. We haven't been here for a while because yours truly's been very sick. So I apologize for us not being here, but I don't think you want me puking and coughing all the time. So today we're going to talk about the suggestions. And what it says is NA has no rules, but we do have some suggestions to go along with this program. And the first one we suggest is learn to take suggestions. Well, I don't know about Andrew, but that was hard for me. Oh, God, that was hard for me. You know, because I was taught that listen to nobody. I always had a problem with authority. What about you, Andrew? How was it when you first took a suggestion in NA?
Yeah, I'll answer that, but I just first want to say to everyone watching, you'll might see me do a little bit of adjusting of the picture today because this is our new setup for today's video only, and then we'll take the holiday edition out next video because it won't be holidays anymore. But yeah, this is like our new. I'm just like working on some stuff in the background, some technical stuff, so you'll see me doing that. I'm trying to make everything quote unquote perfect, although it'll never be perfect. That's just how we are. Addicts like to be perfect, even though we're not and will never be. That's how we do it. So anyway, yeah, suggestions, not something that I ever really listened to a whole lot of because I'm stubborn, because I have an ego, and because I like to be independent. A lot of addicts struggle with independent thinking and behavior. They want to be independent, and that means not listening to what other people tell you to do. Until things become so bad that you are desperate enough to listen to the answer. Suggestions like call your sponsor, go to a meeting, open the book and read, prayer, meditation. You know, don't call the drug dealer today. You know, they can get very specific or very general.
Yep.
Don't hang out with your old using buddies, stuff like that. Suggestions, they're just what they are. They're just suggestions. Suggestions does not mean they're required for you to do. And it doesn't mean that you need to do those things in order to stay clean. But for many people, including myself, the suggestions that I listened to kept me clean for 10 years. And the suggestions that I didn't listen to got me into a lot of trouble in recovery. They still get me into a lot of trouble in recovery because I don't listen to everything still. And I make a lot of mistakes in my life still, even after 10 years. I really don't think, and this is just my personal experience, a lot of people might think, oh my God, he has 10 years. That's so much. It's really not. To me, after having 10 years, one thing I've learned about having 10 years is it's not that long of a time. Like, I don't become a pro at life just because I have 10 years clean. I'm still sick in some ways. I still have flawed thinking. I still have compulsive behaviors. What's the other word that goes with compulsive? I can't think of it right now. Compulsive and something else. I can't remember what the word is.
Compulsive behavior.
Compulsive and what?
Obsessive and compulsive
Yes,
behavior.
obsessive. Yes, man. I latch on to shit. If I like it, it makes me feel good. Even something as small as golf, man. I found this golf game recently, and I'm addicted to it. You know, getting a lower score, getting the better clubs, getting the character upgrades. I am in it to win it. But about 3 short weeks ago, I've never heard of the game before. Now I can't live without it. I'm thinking about it right now. Like, and I was just playing it like maybe 12 hours ago. So, you know,
Yeah.
and I obsess about it. Like, I obsess about going to the courses and being actually there, like the fantasy of it all, like being at Pebble Beach, being, you know, on this nice course with this expensive gear and this expensive vacation. And in reality, none of that is ever going to happen. It might someday. I hope it does. It would be one of my like dream scenarios and one of my healthy obsessions. One of the healthiest things I've ever obsessed about. But one of the unhealthiest things that I ever obsessed about, besides drugs, because that's pretty blatantly obvious. If you're an addict, you obviously obsessed about drugs at some point in your life, or you still currently do. But women was a big obsession of mine. I used to meet a woman and I would get obsessed about her. I would think about her nonstop. Even after like 3-4 days of knowing her, I'd be thinking about the future, the long term with this woman, you know, 4 or 5 years down the road, how we would look together, what life would be like with her. And she was probably talking to other guys. But delusional me was just, I was a very like clingy person. And I needed to chill out a little bit when I got into recovery because I was doing things with my obsessive behaviors that were causing me harm and that were causing others harm. So people suggested things to me. Sometimes they took a while to listen to and to take action on, but eventually I do. You know, like every addict, if you don't die from your addiction, you have a chance to eventually listen to the suggestion. And most of the suggestions that I've gotten in recovery have been fairly decent suggestions. Now, there are some weird niche suggestions that people will tell you, like get a plant. If you can take care of the plant for a year, what's the other one? Get a book or get a pet. Get a pet. Yeah, get a plant, get a pet. If you could take this was the weirdest suggestion I ever heard in recovery. And then if you get past a year of not, you know, the pet doesn't die, then you can get a girlfriend or a boyfriend. I never did that. I don't, you know, maybe that would work for you. Maybe it wouldn't. I don't know. But that to me is just like, it's an off the record suggestion. Another suggestion is shut your mouth and don't say a word for 5 years. I heard somebody tell me that one time. Don't do that. Do not do that. You'll hear some crazy things in recovery. People will say all kinds of crazy things. Take what you like and leave the rest behind, right? Take what you like and leave the rest behind. Just because somebody has time in recovery does not mean you have to listen to what they're telling you. They might think they're right, and they may be right, but there may be a better solution for you specifically. So that's my opinion on suggestions. What do you think, Kent?
Well, for me, one of the best suggestions I ever heard in recovery was to stick with the winners. Now, what exactly does that mean? Well, that simply means this, that if somebody has more time than you stick with them. And people with a year or more have worked the program. And it says in our basic text that we find that anybody who works this program will not be used. So the suggestions are there to help us focus. Because I know as an addict, I couldn't focus on going to the bathroom, because I think about this, that, or the other thing, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this, just stop, and stop. So the next suggestion we have in NA is 90 meetings in 90 days. Now, that's not 90 meetings in a row. Listen to what it says. Make 90 meetings in 90 days. That means a meeting a day for 90 days, not 90 meetings in a row. Okay. Um, hey, if you want to be in a meeting all day long, good for you. But it only counts as one, because what does it say in our program? One day at a time, you know, and the first key tag we get is just for today. And on the back of it, the first three letters spell try, you know. Now, for me, that's a bad thing because to me, to try is to fail because I need to do my best. So when it was suggested to me that I make 90 meetings in 90 days, I didn't like it. I was also suggested that sit back, shut up, and listen for the first 6 months. Well, I made it 4 months. So, what about you, Andrew? 90 meetings in 90 days. What do you say?
Well, especially in today's day and age where there's access to online meetings 24/7, I don't think anybody has an excuse in their first 90 days out of a treatment center to not at least make one meeting a day. If you can't give yourself at least 1 hour of reprieve a day in your first 90 days of recovery outside a treatment center, or if you don't do a treatment center in your first 90 days of recovery, particularly outside of a detox, outside of an institution that will prevent you from going on your phone or going on the internet, like the mental hospital or jail. You know,
You
you
mentioned that.
you have to get to a meeting at least once a day. It'll help you clear your mind, clear your thoughts. And for guys like me, sometimes I spent more than 1 hour a day in a meeting. I would spend 3 meetings a day. I would do one in the morning, one at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and one at 8 o'clock at night or 7 o'clock at night in various different fellowships. Because in my city, there was only 2 NA meetings a week, and there was no online meetings for NA at that time that I knew of.
Yep.
So I had to do other fellowships for a temporary period of time until I got very well connected with the program of Narcotics Anonymous. And I decided to make it my primary and only fellowship to avoid confusion of lingo like alcoholism and addiction or, alcoholic and addict, things like that. I just wanted to get my focus on the broader spectrum, which is my addiction, because I wasn't just a drinker. I did a lot of stuff, a lot of other stuff, which I will not name, that is considered a narcotic. And I fit better in Narcotics Anonymous. I've heard other addicts say, oh, I fit better in AA. Good for you. If you fit better in AA, go try AA. at least you're doing something for your life. At least you're trying to do something well for yourself. But here in NA, we don't specify alcoholism, we say addiction, because we have all kinds of different people in Narcotics Anonymous. We have all kinds of different users, and we're welcoming to all addictions, not even just narcotics. Any addiction is welcome here at Narcotics Anonymous. If you have an addiction and you want to kick your addiction, we're here to help in Narcotics Anonymous. We're not going to keep you clean. Narcotics Anonymous doesn't keep you clean. We help you get the tools necessary and teach you how to use those tools to find your own recovery and find your own higher power and get connected with, your higher power. Sponsorship is a great way to do that. For me, that was like the best way because I'm an introvert. I'm not going to go to a meeting and start opening up and sharing my life story.
No.
Sometimes I've done that and I go back home and I'm like, and then I have that awakening moment and I'm like, I just told the whole city how fucked up I am. I'm an idiot. And I'm like, I'm never going back there again. I go back there, but I just don't do that. I don't go back and continue to share my woes with the meeting. I found a sponsor who I can trust, who I can tell my stuff to, and my sponsor is not going to go back to that meeting and share everything that I told him because I told him that in confidence, and that's what a sponsor's job is. A sponsor's job is to uphold your anonymity as per the traditions of Narcotics Anonymous. Meaning, if I incriminate myself, hey, I stole this from this person, hey, I fucked over this person, hey, I sold drugs here, blah, 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 blah. Specific crimes or things that I've done that can get me in a lot of trouble that I've told my sponsor is not going to run to the cops and be like, hey, man, this guy just told me this, 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 and this. If your sponsor does that, they're not a true member of Narcotics Anonymous. They're just a person posing as a Narcotics Anonymous member to try and gain personal information out of people. And there are people around the rooms that have done that. They're very far and few between from what I've found. And I have a very intuitive sense of trust, like a lot of addicts do. We're very mistrusting people because we've been screwed over, we've been rejected and not accepted from a lot of different groups in our entire life. So we've learned to kind of be on like hyper vigilant state, all the time, trying to figure out if people can be trusted or not. So for me to actually find a person that I could fully trust, it took a very long time, Narcotics Anonymous. I think it took 3 years. I think it took 3 years before I finally opened up my entire book of life, my entire book of Andrew, 100%, and became willing. First, I had to become willing, and then I had to do it. Right? And that's what I did.
See, the thing about, I'm glad you mentioned rehab because 99.9% of rehabs teach clean and sober. Well, that's not the way NA thinks. Okay. I When I went to a rehab, I looked for a drug-based recovery center because I'm pure NA. Okay. I don't go to any other fellowship because NA has saved my life. When you come out of a detox, you're jonesing, and you need a meeting. And na247.org will help you get there because there's meetings 24 hours a day. So if you're on the other side of the pond, you can get the meetings. Okay. And I realize that there are some places that don't have a lot of meetings. Like here, we have 1, 2 a day, and that's it. And where I recovered, they had 3 to 4 meetings a day. So it's very different. So it depends where you are and how big the town is and how connected NA is. But today, there's no reason not to make 90 meetings in 90 days. The next suggestion we have is to get phone numbers. Andrew spoke of that. You get phone numbers from people that you connect with. Um, when I go to a new meeting, I pass out a notebook and I say, "Can I get the guys' numbers, please?" And they write them down. Now, if I text them a couple of times and they don't text me back, I already know what they're telling me, you know? So, yes, I keep the numbers, but, you know, I don't bother with them because they don't want to bother with me. So, you have to find people you connect with. And this is why we suggest 90 meetings in 90 days because you get to know people. Okay, you get to be able to connect. For almost 4 years, I had an online sponsor, and it was rough, because there was times I need him and he's working. So I have to leave him a message. I have to call my friends and talk to my friends, and I have a mentor that I talk to all the time, and I have my brother in arms who is on the other end of this camera, and I talk to him because why? Because I have to find a home group. Now, home group is very simple. A home group is where you find the most people you connect with, the most people that you understand, the most people that you relate with, and that would be your home group. And the great thing about a home group is when you celebrate um 30, 60, 90 days, they make a big deal about it. When you celebrate a year, they throw you a party, and they give you, you know, sweets, they give you cake, you know, get a commitment. Now, my suggestion to this is don't get into service right away. Um, do some work on yourself first. It's what I had to do. I got into recovery, or sorry, I got into service very early. I was only 6 months clean when I started into service. And before that, I would help set up chairs, I would do coffee. Guess what, folks? That's service. That's a commitment that you're there to help set up, you're there to help tear down, because 90%, 99.9% of places are in a location where you can't leave stuff set up. So you have to take the stuff and put it in a locker or put it, somewhere safe. And sometimes you have to carry it with you in the car. So get a commitment, go into service, and that can be as simple as helping set up, helping with the coffee, helping clean the dishes. It can be that simple, setting up the literature, develop a relationship with your higher power. And see, step three is very clear. Step two, we came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. Step three, we made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood Him. Step 11 is really cool because through prayer and meditation, I improved my conscious contact with God, of my understanding, not yours, not Joe Blow, Susie, and Sally. Okay, yes, I may have the same higher power as them. Big deal. It's not about that. It's about what keeps me clean. That's what it's about. It's not about what your higher power is. I don't give a hoot nanny who your higher power is. All I care about is that you're clean. Okay. Get a sponsor. Now, there is information. It's IP number 11, which is called sponsorship. And it shows you and teaches you what to look for in a sponsor. Yes, sometimes the first person you connect with is a person that should be your sponsor. However, I am cautioning you on this. If you do not connect with your sponsor, you need a new one. My friend that I talk to all the time, Um, he's both programs, AA and NA. And I asked him if he's my sponsor, and he said, I read all 4 books. And I'm going, what 4 books? And he reads the basic text. It works how and why, the big book, and then the other one from AA. And I'm like, I don't think so, because for me alone, when I go to AA, it's like I'm denying my addiction because I have addiction. I have an addiction to sex. I have an addiction to spending money. I have an addiction to shopping. I have an addiction to um, compulsive behavior. I can be very obsessive. Okay. And this is where my sponsor and I talk, because I get to know them and they get to know me. And for those of you who don't know, yeah, Andrew is my sponsee. And Andrew has been my sponsee for 10 years. And just so that you all know, I've seen him grow and mature from a teenager to an adult. And that's what a sponsor does. That's how it works. And if you read IP number 11, um, you'll find that. You'll find out what it is. Now, the last thing to remember in NA is this. Um, if I don't buy it, I can't use it. Some people say if you don't pick up, you can't get high. Well, you know what? That's the same thing. Okay, but let's be plain. Um, you have to be blunt and bold in NA. Okay, and don't sugarcoat it. Because 3 of the most important principles in recovery is honesty, open-mindedness, and willingness. So if something bothers me, I need to say that. And if, like, even today, with the amount of time I have, I can't watch a show that has a lot of using and drug use in it. Like, I love Motley Crue, and I wanted to watch a documentary on that, and I couldn't, because the first 5 minutes of the show was all using, and it was just triggering me like crazy. And sorry, but I can't watch stuff like that. Oh, I have to turn my head away. You know, I have to walk away. And if there's a lot of it continuously, I can't watch it. Yeah, I just can't, because it triggers me. So, folks, you may say, well, yeah, these are only suggestions. Well, guess what? In the basic text, in page 53 to 55, you'll find all these suggestions. Now, I suggest that if you have a basic text, you read it and underline these, because they're all in there, all of them. And we say in the program that this is an obsessive compulsive disease. It's an allergic reaction. And that's on page 5 in the basic text. And in that page 5 on the basic text, it says allergy 5 times. It talks about the allergy to a drug, whatever that is. If I can't wake up and not think about it, then I have an obsessive compulsive addiction and I'm allergic to it. Because you put alcohol in my system and I become an instant asshole. You know, um, you put drugs in my system, I become mellow and just like, oh, remember the 60s movies? Oh, make love, not war. Yeah, that was me. Okay. That's the way I was, because I didn't want to feel I didn't want to deal with my past. And this is where a sponsor that you connect with becomes very important because as Andrew and I have worked over the years, um, yeah, like you said, he didn't listen to a lot of my suggestions, but he's learning to. He does listen to most of them now. So that's progress, folks. And you have to remember something about this program. Recovery is a process. There's not a magic fix, you know? There's not some miracle pill that poof, I'm not an addict anymore. The only time you get released from your addiction is when you go home. That's it. No other reason here. And I'll tell you why that is. Because as I used and abused, I crossed a bridge. Now, that bridge that I crossed was normal, every day, you know, have a beer, a glass of wine, and, celebrate the time, right? And that's it. No, 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 not me. No, 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 no. You know, I would stay in a bar until it closed. Sometimes they had to kick me out, you know, and when I got into the heavy drugs, you come to my door when I'm using, I'm not home. If you were jonesing and come to my door, and I was a dealer and I was a seller, you come to my door when you're jonesing, you know what? You ain't getting my stock. Too bad, sucker. I ain't got none. And I'm not sharing mine. That's very greedy. And yeah, I used to drive drunk. I used to drive high. I used to have my kids in the car while I was drunk and high. You think that's a good idea? Well, my reaction time is better. There's proof that it's not. Because for every beer that you drink, every glass of alcohol you drink, your reaction time goes down zero point 0.1. Now, zero point 0.1 per second. So if I have two beer, my reaction time is 10% what it was. Somebody hit the brakes. Bang. Guess what? I'm in an accident. And when I'm not high and when I'm not using, when I see somebody hit the brake, I hit the brake. Why? Because I don't want to hit them and knock them into the car, knock them into the car, and maybe knock somebody into traffic and kill them.
All it takes is one
That
mistake and you're done.
that's it. That's it. And your reaction time per beer is zero point 0.1. Okay. Which is like almost 1 second. So, and if you do the math, I won't explain the math because it's complicated. You take that one, you add it to the amount that you're using, and then you take that and you add times it, and that gives you your percentage, which is 5 to 10%. So for every alcoholic beverage I have, my reaction time goes down 5 to 10%. So you tell me somebody who's been in the bar all day, how they're going to stop when somebody slams on the brakes in a hurry. They're going to go right up their muffler system, figuratively, of course. But it's like, no, no. And some of the other drugs are even worse than that. You know, um, if you want to know the stats, message me and I'll give you those stats. And I can prove what I'm saying. There's videos on YouTube that prove it. And yeah, I know everything on the internet is true. Yeah, right. You know, but it's reputable people that I'm talking about. Psychiatrists, psychologists, and counselors, alcohol counselors, drug counselors that understand the doctors. So these suggestions are not written in stone, but they are in the basic text. And when you read the basic text, and I suggest you do read it, and 99.9% of the time, if you have sponsor and you don't have a basic text, that sponsor will probably get you a basic text or give you a basic text. So, and if you're online and you don't have a sponsor in town and you can't get the meetings and stuff like this, there's always reasons, that you can't get to meetings, the invalid, the people that can't walk in the snow and, the cold and stuff like that, they can't get to meetings all the time. So this is why online's great. Okay. And I love online meetings, but I also love in person meetings because in the amount of time that I've been going, which is 6 months, I started going back to, you know, in person meetings. I have met 15 people that I knew when I was up here before, and I met them in a conference and at a conference and NA meetings and NA groups. So those
Oh,
people,
yeah, in-person meetings are really good if you could find a good group.
yeah. And uh, for me, um, I go to two in-person meetings a week because on Thursday I'm committed online. On Friday, it depends um, on the day. Sometimes I'll go to a meeting, and then Saturday I'm committed with my sponsees, and then Sunday we're going to be starting to do this, and through the week, um, on Tuesdays and Thursdays, you check out my channel, which is Abba's house, her father's
Wait,
house.
I can take Saturday and Sunday off recovery and just take a break, right? If I wanted, just do Monday to
Yeah,
Friday.
yeah, you don't have to do recovery every day, okay? But you have to do a meeting every day, and that meeting can be online, and you don't always have to share. You know, sometimes it's better to take the cotton batton out of your ears and put it in your mouth.
Most of the time when I go into a meeting today, I just listen.
Yep.
I used to talk a lot when I was young in recovery because I wanted to be the big shot in the room and I wanted to show everybody how smart I was and how cool I was and how much better I was than them or how much worse I was than them. Sometimes alienating yourself like that makes you like, I don't know, in your mind, like if you may think that you're going to be like special or something. But
Well, exactly. And that's our obsessive compulsive behavior. You
yeah,
know, Mm.
it's all
I share.
addictive stuff, all
Yep.
addictive thinking.
It's all the personality. Okay.
Me,
No
right?
hard.
Me. The
Yeah.
world revolves around me.
Yeah. And most, okay, I use this term loosely, normal people. Okay. Don't obsess about things. It's people with mental issues or physical problems or even mental problems. And I suffer from mental illness as well. Um, I have a lot of different stuff that I suffer from. Why? Because of my drug use. You know, I don't have any teeth left in my head because I didn't take care of my teeth. Instead, I put stuff on them that shouldn't be there. You know, and my gums, same thing. Up my nose, same thing. In my arms, same thing. And it's like, folks, it doesn't matter whether you use a simple drug, prescription drugs, heavy street drugs. or you're a full blown addict. It doesn't matter.
A drug is a drug is a drug.
If you cannot wake up in the morning and not think about using, you got a problem.
Normal
And I can
people don't have those thoughts.
Yep, I can prove that because if you go to NA.org, you'll find IP number 11 and IP number 7. Now, IP 11 is sponsorship, as I mentioned, and IP number 7 is am I an addict? And there's questions in there. Okay. And you answer those questions. And it says at the bottom, it doesn't matter how many yeses we have. Some of these don't even include drugs. But see, drugs affected everything in my life: family, friends, me, my work, my job, everything.
Everything.
It affects everything. And me as an idiot addict thinking that, oh, it's only my problem, it doesn't affect anybody else. Well, no, it does. You know, I lost two of my best friends because they didn't want to deal with my attitude. So, yep, it happens. And once we as addicts cross that bridge, there's no going back. The gate's closed. It's no more enter for you. And what I mean by that? Well, as a drug and alcohol counselor, if I wake up in the morning and the first thing I think about is getting high, there's a problem.
Now, when does that
Because
go away?
it it depends on how much you used, it depends on what you used. There's a whole lot of different scenarios, 1,001 different reasons. It goes away for different people at different times. And it's cool because not every addict learns the same. And what works for me may or may not work for you. But I'm going to share what works for me. And it's up to you whether you try it or not. It's up to you whether you have the cojones, the ability, the reason why am I doing this? Well, I'll tell you why I do this. This program saved my life. Because when I came in here, it's two choices I had. One, I done, blow my head off so nobody can rescue me again. Or two, learn to use drugs successfully. That's what I said there. You know, and when I started working my step one, I realized, no, it's not going to happen. You know, do you think I would not want to toast the new year? Hell yeah, I would. Damn, I'd love to do that. But I can't. I'd love to celebrate a birthday or a wedding and cheer the bride and a glass up and cheers to the birthday boy, the birthday person. You think I wouldn't want to do that? Yes, I would.
Or
But I
smoke a
can't.
joint on 420 because it's 420.
No. And it's like, you know, once I break that cycle, and for me, it took 2 years. Okay. It took me 2 years before I got to the point that this is not worth it. You know, using is not worth it. Because I had to bust my ass to get my drug of choice. Now, when I got involved with the motorcycle club and the mob, I didn't have to worry about my drugs. Pick up the phone, it's dropped at my door. There you go. No problem. But not everybody had that opportunity. But first, I stole stereos. I stole cars. I boosted stereos out of cars. You know? Yeah, I did that. You know? I ripped off cars and took them to a chop shop. Yeah, I did that. Why? Because I needed to stay high. That was my whole focus. And when I learned these suggestions, see, I was raised in a military family. And according to my dad, you don't talk about your feelings, you don't show your feelings, you don't say anything, you keep your mouth shut. If somebody gets in your face, you punch them in the head and then ask questions why. Yeah, it doesn't work that way, you know. Because today, if I hit somebody, I'm afraid they got speed dial on 911, you know, because it's not worth it. I've been to jail. I have 2 weapons charged on my record. Okay.
Mm.
One is assault with a deadly weapon, the other one is assault with a lethal weapon. So tell me, was my life manageable? I burned through a home. I burned through 2 marriages. I burned through a business. Yeah, I had everything under control tonight. Yeah. See, learning to take suggestions was the hardest thing I ever had to do because I was a very strong willed man. I was an enforcer. If you don't know what that is, I go collect money from um, any of you have seen Rocky. Uh, that's what I did. I went and collected money for the boys.
That's why him and I get along so well, because I was the peacemaking hippie and he was the big bruising enforcer. So we don't really like clash too much, you know?
No. And you see, this is what I'm mentioning. And if you, once you read IP number 11, you'll understand that a sponsor is not a dictator, he's not a general, or sorry, a sponsor is not a dictator, they're not a general, they're not, do this, start. You start that crap with me, you're going to get a punch in the head, because I'll walk away. You know, my sponsor was a very gun ho NA person. He never told me to do anything. What he said was, well, maybe you should read this. Go read this. You see, he didn't tell me what to do. He told me what the problem was and how to find it. And my sponsor didn't let me or give me the answer. God, I wish he would have. But he didn't do that. He didn't tell me, you know, what I wanted to hear. He told me what I needed to hear. Go read this. This will answer your question. You see, that's not telling me what to do. That's saying if you want the answer, here it is. Go read it. Tell me when you're done. You see, that's the way it works. You know, if a sponsor's sitting there telling you can't do this, you can't do this, you got to run fast the other way.
Addicts
If somebody,
naturally repel, especially people like me with a rebellious mindset. They uh, they don't handle instructions well. They don't handle authority figures well, and they
and
rebel.
see, yep, and see when Andrew and I first started talking, we had some clashes, but it's like after a while he realized that, oh damn, oh, he was right.
I
Good
think
job.
most of our clashes stemmed from I would keep bringing forth the same issue over and over again, and he would
No,
keep giving me this.
it was different issues. Um, I'm not going to get into it here, but it was different issues. Okay, uh, because I handle things differently. Okay, um, somebody gets in my face, they know it. You know, um, I let you know in no uncertain term. If I don't like you, I'm going to tell you. I am. Now, Andrew is not like that. Are you?
It depends on who it is. When he first met me, like I said, I was the peacemaking hippie. I wasn't really a fighter. I wasn't really getting in people's faces. I wasn't like, much of a Chef Ramsay type personality. But having a sponsor like this, the yin and the yang, I like to call it, the opposite of how you are, is what you need, especially if you're like the polar opposite of what you need to be. You need somebody to bring you back to balance. You need somebody to bring you back to the middle, because it's not a good way to be the peacemaker, and it's not a good thing to be aggressive and in people's face and punching people in the face all the time. So having that ability to handle confrontation and assert yourself when you need to, but also take a step back and learn when to shut your mouth and just withdraw from the situation is a really good tool to have to keep you
And
clean and
see,
keep you out of trouble.
yep, and see, for me, when I came in here, um, I was an egotistical maniacal ass.
Well, what's
I was a
changed? No, I'm just kidding.
the thing has
I'm
changed
just
that
kidding.
I don't bite your head off right away. I usually
I'm
do
just
the
kidding.
second.
Just kidding.
No, no, it's a good question.
No, I was
You know,
just kidding. I was genuinely.
no, it's a good question because, like I said, I was a brute, you know, and you know, um, I had to learn, and that's from my sponsor. I had to learn to do the second thing that comes to mind. When somebody says smart to me, I want to bitch slap them to, I want to bitch slap them until the sizzle becomes the whizzle. I do. I really do. But it's like, I can't do that because how many people today have 911 on speed dial? And with my record, when they run my name and they pull up my record, they don't send one cop. It's like 4 or 5 cruisers, boys and girls.
Yeah,
You
and
know?
it's guilty until proven innocent.
Yeah. And yeah, it's like they come and tell me that these boys are not short. They're not wimpy. They're not, you know, built like a rake. These boys are built like I am, tough, mean, and they'll kick your ass. You
One of
know,
the things that I liked when I met Kent was that he was very open about his own life. He would share stories about his like fun stories about like all the fights he used to get into and all the shit that he used to get into when he was in using. And it was just fun to listen to. We had a lot of entertaining conversations. I thought recovery would be boring. That's why I didn't want to get clean because I thought my life would become boring and I would have nothing to do. Well, it's the complete opposite. It might be boring at the beginning when you're getting back on your feet. You're like a truck that's slow to get going, right? You're just getting your wheels going. But once you get going, you just keep going and going and going, man. And recovery is fun. I have to admit it. It's not all fun. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of trials and tribulations. I'm currently going through one right now. Probably the biggest one I've had in a very long time because of my own stupidity and my
and
inability
see,
to listen to suggestions. Because
and
if I
see,
had just listened to the suggestions, this would have never happened.
yeah. And the thing is, okay, in recovery, I've heard many people say recovery is not supposed to be fun. But folks, I'm going to be honest with you. If recovery wasn't fun, I'd still be using.
There's a pamphlet, if I'm not mistaken, called Fun in Recovery. Am I crazy to think that? Or
Well,
a reading of
it
some
is
type? Or
really from. It's not really from NA.
oh, I think it's a page out of like the Just for Today or something.
Yeah, yeah, it very well could be. Because the thing about it is there is seriousness in recovery. Now, when you start your steps, you can't piss around with that because that's my life. Okay. And I need to figure out me. And if you read the symbol, our symbol, what it says, the 4 sides of the pyramid rise to the point of freedom, starting with self, me, society, this, service, setting up, doing coffee, doing things.
Keep talking,
You know,
Ken. I'm just going to fill up my drink, but I'm listening. Sorry to interrupt.
and it's like doing that stuff is important. And then because we do this stuff, because we're working on stuff, we find a society that understands us and doesn't judge us, no matter how much of an ass or jerk or prick we are. You know, it doesn't judge us, and they take that and they work with it, and they they help mold you to become a productive member of society, and that's the thing. And then once you go through all that, you find God, and at the point in the top is freedom. And I always say this, we find freedom in recovery. And I'm not joking about that. You know, I don't have to get up in the morning and worry about where I'm going to get my fix. I don't have to worry about where I'm going to get my money. You know, what am I going to do? You know, what's my job today? Um, who do I have to hurt today? You know, who do I have to skin alive today? And who do I have to do this to and that to? And it's like, wow, I don't have to worry about that today. You see, 24 hours. And I'll share this with you, and then we're going to back on out of here. And I'll share this. I was 4 days clean. I went to this meeting, and this guy was sharing. He had 22 years. 22 years. Now remember, folks, I was 4 days clean. And I go into this meeting and I hear him start sharing, and I'm like, how do I get 22 years? Now, I don't know if that person I could have related to, or that person was where I was, or did what I did, or was around what I was, or ran with the same people as I did. I have no idea. Because the whole time I was thinking in my head, how do I get 22 years? You see, I wanted to go from A to the answer. It doesn't work out.
And you're missing the whole point at that point, right?
Yep. And I looked at my sponsor, and my sponsor after the meeting looks at me and he says, what'd you get out of the share? And I looked at him and I said, how do I get 22 years? And he was going to say, and he said it just this way, the same way I'm going to say to you, one day at a time. Why do you think we have our main book that we have is just for today? Why do you think we have that?
That's
Why do
right.
you think it's that? You know, because it is just for today. You
Recovery
know,
is not lived in the future. We don't
no,
live recovery in the past.
no.
We live recovery in today.
Let me ask you this, Andrew. You have 10 years clean. Okay. When you walk into a meeting, how many years you got?
10 years clean.
Really?
When I
Okay.
walk into a
You're
meeting.
you're missing the point.
This is a trick question.
Yes, it is. When I walk into a meeting, I have 1 day. Why? Because I don't want to miss something that somebody says. I don't want to miss what the newcomer says. I don't want to miss what the person who's predecessor. And what I mean by that is somebody who has a lot of time in the program. You know, and I'm talking a decade or more. Okay. I want to hear that person because I don't know if they're going to say something that's going to click with me or not. So I need to have the thing. And the first thing that my sponsor taught me is he said, when you walk in that door, he said, you leave your personality at the door. So that means how I feel, what I'm feeling, the way I'm feeling toward people stays outside. I have X amount of time. And for those of you that don't know, I've been here since 1995 and I didn't relapse by the grace of God. So that
Now
makes
it's now 2026. We're gonna have 2027 in like 6 days, 9 days.
so I have 30 years, folks. 30 years. It's actually 2025, buddy. Where are you?
I'm living in 2027, man. Where are
I
you?
see.
Where are you? No, I'm just kidding.
I'm
I
right here with you.
People ask, and I don't know if this is common. I don't know if anyone else can relate to this. I was born in 1989. That makes me 36 years old by my calculations. But if you ask me on different days, one day I'll tell you I'm 37. The other day I'll tell you I'm 36. Another day I'll tell you I don't remember. And I don't know why. I don't know if that's common among men, middle aged men, but it feels very weird. I don't know. I just thought I would say that, but sometimes I genuinely forget what year it is. Like I literally just thought we were turning the clock to 2027 not 2 minutes ago. And I was ready for it, man. Yeah, let's go. Let's 2027, man.
It's all good, man. You know,
We're there, man. We made it.
it's like it's like this. Um, when we're in today, we don't. And if you've never read it, I suggest you read the poem called "Yesterday, Today, and Tomorrow." I'll tell you, man, that saved me. I'm telling you, I was hurting from my past. And my sponsor said, read this. Yes, he did tell me what to do, but it's like he knew what I needed. So he said, read this. It's my choice whether I read it or not. But when I read it, it was called Yesterday, Today, and Tomorrow. And I used to be able to remember everything for word, but because I'm older now, I can't remember, and I forgot a lot of stuff because I'm getting up there. I'm 60. So
I'm 36 and I'm forgetting a lot of stuff.
so it's like this. Yesterday is gone. There's nothing we can do. There's nothing we can take back. We can't take back anything we said or anything we did. And then there's 2 days in every week. Yesterday. That was yesterday. And tomorrow. That unrealistic realization of what's coming tomorrow. Nobody knows that. Okay. Nobody knows what's coming tomorrow. Because tomorrow will come in splendor or in gloom. It will be there. Okay. It will. The sun will rise and it will set and the day will go on. So there's nothing we can do about tomorrow. So that leaves one day a week that we need to worry about, which is today. And when we add those two unrealistic things, yesterday, the past, tomorrow, the future, we get all buggered up in our head. Okay. And it's like we start thinking, what? And I can take this problem, i.e., like this. Okay. I can take this problem right here, and I can take it and I can stack it up so high that I can't see it anymore. Or I can deal with the problem that's in front of me and look at the solution and not worry about this, worry about the solution. Because then I'm not focusing on the problem, I'm focusing on the solution. And the problem goes like that.
Addicts like to focus on the problem because addicts like to sit in their own shit and stew in their own shit.
Yeah, we do. And the more we do that, the worse it gets.
Yeah. It's a famous recovery slang that I was told when I came into the program, and a lot of people still say it to this day. How's that working for you?
Mhm. Yours truly says that all the time.
It's
Mhm.
a very condescending but very true statement. How's that working for you?
Yep. And see, for me, that's a kick in the balls, a punch in the gut, and a punch in the head all at the same time. Because I know what they're saying is right, but I really don't want to hear that. But that's what I need to hear, you know? And it's very simple. And Jimmy K, if you don't know who Jimmy K is, Jimmy K is one of the founders of Narcotics Anonymous. Okay. And he says this is a simple program written for complicated people. So think about that. It's a simple program written for complicated people.
Yeah, it needs to be simple because when we come into Narcotics Anonymous, our heads are all fucked up, man, from drugs and life problems that drugs have created. A lot of people think drugs is the solution until they realize all of the problems it creates
Yep.
along with it.
Well, it's 6 o'clock, 6 bells, Eastern Standard Time. So I'm gonna back on out of here. Um, I want to thank you for listening to Andrew and I um, in
You can
Recovery Corner.
you can find
We are
us in
always
meetings. Sorry, I thought you were done.
oh, you can find us in meetings. You'll find me on NA 247, and I live in Canada. So if you are in Canada and you want to meet up, just send me an email at Kent Hopper 2400 at gmail.com, and I'll be more than willing to call you.
We have
Uh,
WhatsApp,
yep,
internationally friendly. As long as you
WhatsApp
speak
is
English. I don't speak any other languages other than English.
yep. Oh, I have a translator on my phone, so I can speak other languages, and I do speak some Hebrew. Um, so it's like um, don't be afraid to call somebody. You know, that this thing. Where to go? There it is. You remember this thing, folks? It's called a phone.
How much does your phone weigh? 500
Um,
pounds or 1,000 pounds?
not anymore. But when I first picked up this phone, you see, folks, I'm old school, and we had the dial phones and the touch tone dial, right? So it was like you had to dial a number, and then you had to dial a whole number, and you had to wait, and so um, this today we have our life on it. We have all our contacts, we have all our friends, our family, in this little thing here. And you ask me what my wife's number is, I say just a minute, I gotta look it up. So
I'm the
there's no
same,
reason.
man. I don't know anyone's phone number.
There's no reason, okay? Because there's texting, there's WhatsApp, there's
Zoom,
email, Zoom, and
Discord.
yeah,
We have Discord. We're on Discord right now.
Discord. Yeah.
Video chat.
Um.
Free.
Yep.
It's free.
You can message me here if you want. That's okay. Send me a friend request. That's okay.
We'll put our Discord links underneath the video description.
But I don't. I'll warn you. I don't put up with bullshit, and I'll block you if you start. You know,
Yeah,
because
we
I
don't
just
like
don't.
trolls. People that, want to troll. We're not going
Because
to entertain that.
I've had many people message me on my phone. Oh, hi, how are you? Who are you? Who is this? Oh, this is so and so. Okay, bye bye.
Oh, that's my favorite text when I get texted from a random number. Who is this?
Well, yeah.
Excuse me, who is this? You are the one that texted me. Tell me who you are.
If you have somebody's phone number, 99.9% of all people today have one of these things. Okay. So, hi, my name's Ken. We met in NA. How's that hard?
Yeah,
Click press
exactly.
send, you know? And then when you call them up, they're going to say, oh, yeah, okay, that I know what that is. You know? I'm going to say, what fruitcake is this? You know?
It is the holiday season after all. Fruitcake is on the menu for a lot of people.
No, no, love it.
Not me.
Um,
I don't like fruitcake at all, man.
oh, get out of town. You know, you
I
get
like banana
fruitcake,
bread.
you know.
I just don't
So,
like it. I don't like fruit in my cake. Bah. I don't like it.
folks, this thing here, okay, is a very handy doodad. You know, because you can send emails on it. You used to have a computer to be able to do that. You don't need that no more because all you need is one of these. You know, so and 99.9% of everybody in the world, our life is right here. This is our life. You know how many people I see walking around like this?
I need to go to Android Anonymous, man. I tell you, they should have a program.
Oh, well, they don't because you pay their bills. You know, so all right, folks, we've
Happy
enjoyed this.
holidays to all that celebrate. This will be our
Yep,
last video before
yep,
Christmas.
it will.
Probably New
And
Year's too, unless Kent, you want to get on here before New Year's. But I
hopefully,
don't imagine. I don't know.
well, the 31st, I'm a little busy, so that one's out.
So if we're not
Um,
back before New Year's, Happy New Year's to everyone.
so um, I just want to say this, you know, I don't say happy holidays or season's greetings or any of that garbage. You know, I'm old school. I want to wish you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And I look forward, well, we look forward to seeing you next year. And we're going to end this off with a little tune from yours
Yes.
truly. Okay.
Kent is
And
an awesome harmonica player.
we're going to send this off and we're going to sing Merry Christmas. All right. So if you want to sing along, go ahead. You know,
Very nice. Very nice.
folks, we'll see you next time. Enjoy the holidays. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
Until next time, see y'all later. Peace.